If we're not leading, then probably someone else is. We have a responsibility to protect our security, do it in a way that, as we would say, doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
What is the place of multilaterals in U.S. strategic thinking?
When President Biden took office, the first thing that he instructed me to do, and all of us to do, was to renew, reinvigorate, and in some cases reimagine our alliances and partnerships. If we're not leading, then probably someone else is, and maybe not in a way that advances the interests and values that we have and that we share with Singapore. Maybe just as bad, no one is, and then you're going to have a vacuum that's filled by bad things.
Secretary, you have given us the vision, the security vision, the alliance, the partnership vision of the Biden administration for the Indo-Pacific. What is the place of trade in that vision?
Trade is critical. It links countries, it links people, it links economies. So is investment. Why is that important? Because these investments don't happen unless there's a certain amount of trust, and also unless there's a certain amount of optimism about the future. I think we see in the magnitude of foreign direct investment a tremendous amount of trust between the United States, Singapore, countries in ASEAN, a tremendous amount of trust in the United States, and confidence that this is where the future is.
In the thinking of Southeast Asians and Asians, trade is extremely important. So I get very discouraged when I hear Americans say, we can't do trade.
Right now we have a challenge when it comes to China with overcapacity. That is producing in certain sectors and certain industries well beyond not only the needs of China, but of world demand. And doing it in a way with subsidies and other forms of support that not only create unfair advantages, but create an environment in which, when that kind of trade goes forward, it has the potential to flood.
But we hope that the way countries respond would not be through protectionist measures.
There's nothing wrong with competition. In fact, in our system, competition's a good thing. As long as it's fair, as long as it's on a level playing field, it's a good thing. It hopefully brings out the best in everyone. We want to make sure that that competition doesn't veer into conflict, which is profoundly not in our interest or anyone else's, nor in China's.
I like what you say about competition without conflict. But many of us believe it is still a very fragile stability. So we are very worried about the small yard, high fence policy, because we see it becoming a bigger yard and higher fences. Where will it stop?
We have controls, listings of one kind or another against about 1,300 companies in China. There are 43 million registered companies in China. It's an infinitesimally small number with regard to the Chinese economy. But we have a responsibility to protect our security.
But sometimes, given the contests between two parties, in two sides in the United States, the definition of national security becomes looser and looser.
Do it in a way that, as we would say, doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Most of the polling, if you listen to our fellow citizens, they actually want the United States to be engaged in the world. They understand that in order to actually get things done at home, we also have to be working with others around the world.
Amongst your friends and countries around the world, they are concerned whether there'll be a continuity of policy between administrations. Some countries worry when they are negotiating deals with the United States. Will that stand if it is another administration?
It's the nature of our system, and I think people have seen that, know that over many years. We have so many actors in our system that are important, and of course, the federal government stands at the top, but our states play incredibly important roles. Our cities play incredibly important roles. Their connections that have grown stronger and stronger over the years between our states and other countries, between cities in different places, that continue to drive things forward. Thank you so much. Great to be with you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.